Great.
I got a couple for you. One, you brought in Jonathan Williams. He's kind of the first guy that wasn't with you through the virtual portion of the OTAs. Really seems like he's hit the ground running. What did you like about him, and why do you think he's been able to get acclimated so quickly in an environment where it's difficult to get acclimated quickly?
Yeah, you know what? He's done a great job. He came in really unbelievable professional, guy that just dove right into the playbook and really tried to focus in on his job. We do have some guys that have played college football with him, so we had a little bit of a background research there as far as the type of guy he is. He's a great guy, work hard, just wants to go in and do anything he can to help the team. It just kind of was a good fit for us, and we wanted to, bring him in and take a look. But certainly from a skill set level, he's a big back. He can get downhill, but also has some good quickness. And, we just thought it would be a good opportunity for us to take a look at him.
And flipping gears to special teams, I know the kicking game and its importance to you, coverage especially, but you've got a punter battle going on with two guys that don't have a whole lot of experience. Just curious what you like about those two guys and what you've seen in the early stages of that competition.
Yeah, two great guys, really. And, good question, because today you're actually going to see some coverage stuff. So, as you're watching that, you'll see some kickoff coverage. And, we're working towards this week also the punt coverage aspect of all of that too. So that'll be up this week. We'll get a little bit more live reps at that, or not live, but close as we can in pads, which will be nice. As far as the two punters, I think they both done an outstanding job. I think they're both, they both have extremely outstanding leg talent. Certainly Jack was here with us last year, and we saw his ability to just, the ball just explodes off his foot when he drives into it. And certainly with Sipos, a guy that's a little bit older, even though he's just coming out of college, very calm, another really strong leg. Very consistent. So I think for both of those guys, they're doing a great job. They're competing. Certainly as we go through camp, we're going to have to turn up the pressure a little bit, just on some of the different looks that they're going to see and get them a feel for what that rush looks like when it's coming at them, and see how they perform under pressure. Certainly try to do it in the safest manner possible. It's always a little bit interesting when you're trying to do that with the punt and the punt protection, but we got to see that, the best we can without the preseason games, to see how that goes. But two guys that are doing a great job of competing back and forth. I'd say one of the really awesome parts about all of it is, they're back there helping each other. I think when you have competition on a football team, but the players put aside that competition and just try to help each other out, especially, with the guys and the specialists and the kickers, because there's so many details involved there with the snap and the timing of the footwork and the drop angle and the way the foot and the ball comes off the foot. They're helping each other. So that's pretty cool to see.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep. Mike Rothstein.
I've got a couple as well. The first is with, I guess, practice being different. Are you going to tackle to the ground this year, or tackle the ground more than maybe you had in the past because of just no preseason games and no joint practices?
Yeah, so definitely, something we talked about maybe a couple media sessions ago, just in regards to live tackling and try to fit that in. So we got a couple shots at it the other day on the goal line, tried to do it in a really small scale. And we'll try to work maybe a couple reps in as we go through the week. And then at some point, we do have to do live tackling. We have to get into that mode just like we would in a preseason game. And, you can't wait to that first regular season game before you tackle for real. You got to make sure that the guys can feel it. And certainly the ball carriers too, they've got to be able to feel that too and be able to understand sometimes if they can run through it, if they got to go with it, if they move and kind of the pressure on the ball as they get tackled. So we're going to work that in as we go. Yep.
And with Jayshon Cornell, is he going to need surgery?
Yeah, the injury was pretty significant. So, that's all I'm going to say on that. And he's going to go on IR. So I'll let him handle the rest of it.
Yep. Thanks.
Yep.
Ben Raven.
Hey, morning, Coach.
Good morning.
I was just sorry. Hopefully you can hear me through all this.
Yeah, I can, and I love the Star Wars, so I'm all about it. I'm good.
Thank you.
Tatooine, let's roll.
That's right. Just wondering with Cornell, obviously a strange offseason, strange camp. I mean, does that make you kind of step back and look at any different drills like that? I know it was kind of a weird situation, but just kind of that wonder, you step back and kind of reevaluate the drills you're doing or anything like that.
Yeah, I always do. One of the things that probably puts me in the worst mood is when somebody gets hurt. I think that for me as a coach, I'm always trying to make sure that we practice in the safest manner possible. And certainly in that case, you go back and it's unfortunate, it's one of those deals where we had two drills going on at the same time. So I wasn't there. And then, I had to go back and look at the tape and kind of, just look at it. I'm always trying to figure out, is there a way that we could have been safer? I think, unfortunately, that was just one of those things that happened in that particular case. It just, looked like he stepped and, there was an injury because of that. You certainly wonder if maybe a little bit more off season, a little bit more training, a little bit more, any of those things, you always go through that, in your head and just trying to make sure that the players are as safe as possible. Certainly if there are drills that I see that I don't think are safe, the drill is going to be stopped as soon as I see it, and it's going to be corrected. Certainly.
Thank you.
We'll go two more, Steve Courtney, then Dave.
Morning, Coach. Obviously, the great thing about preseason football is it gave players a chance to make a roster. Obviously, with no preseason, how much more intense are your coaches' meetings now as you evaluate talent, putting together the final roster?
Yeah, no, great point. And really, I would always say that our coaches' meetings are pretty intense just in general. I think that evaluating the roster all the way through is critically important. And I think one of the things that we always do in training camp is try to determine, what do our players do well? That's the biggest thing for us. What do they do? And then how can they help the team? I think that we certainly will see, talent and their ability and skill set on tape, but, what are they doing well for us right now? And then how does that fit into what we need on the team to help us win? So certainly that's a big part of it right now. And we're having a lot of discussion. I would say the interesting part about it too is that with the 80-man roster, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different trying to juggle that number and maybe the rep count and injuries, and also the build-up process that we're going through, starting with 90 minutes, adding 15 per practice as we go, and making sure that we get enough reps. And then also without the off season, to make sure that the guys, we're doing it in a safe manner, the best that we can to acclimate them to that, that high competition level. So it's a great point of when we get into those meetings, it's okay, look, we have to evaluate everything these guys do, from individual to the group to the, the little pod work that we do to the teamwork. It's all got to be evaluated all the way across the board. And it can't just be those team reps that I think everybody looks at that maybe would be like a preseason game. You look at just the reps in the game. It's got to be more than that. It's got to be what they're doing from the individual all the way through.
All right, Dave, last question.
Morning, Matt. Just have one for you today. I was just curious, the testing numbers, not just with you guys, but across the league, are low. Rate of positive tests, that is. Just wondering how much confidence that gives you in the season, and just how, good it is to see that really across the league, how refreshing it is that you guys have so far avoided problems. I don't know, maybe things change in the regular season, but for now, things seem to be going well.
Yeah, it's, I think when you look at the big picture of all of it, I think the league is trying to do everything they can to make sure that we're out there in a safe environment and practicing. I'd say for us, I probably have blinders on. I'm probably just head down and worried about our building and just trying to make sure that we educate our guys continually, and certain coming off, player day offs and things where they maybe have a little bit more free time, just making sure that we continually educate everybody on what's important, to be done to stay safe and to keep everybody safe. So, from that aspect of it, we're just kind of, taking it day by day as it goes, and we'll see how these, all the testing goes and how it works. But, for us right now, I think the guys feel like we're doing the right things. We got to continue to do that, and so that we can get out there and go compete.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. All right. See you guys in practice.
Whether you're getting more reps, you develop that confidence, you develop that trust. This offseason, I really tried to emphasize kind of watching other guys and then watching tape of other defenses, kind of just to develop that confidence, because I believe I've got the ability and I just need to develop that confidence. So I'm feeling confident, but I mean, Danny's a heck of a player, and that's one blessing, a big blessing with this training camp, is he's going to push me to get better, because he works his tail off. He's talented. He does a lot of great technique things, so he's going to make me a lot better. So it's just an honor to work with him as well.
Just one quick follow-up, Frank. What were a few of the guys, or who are a few of the guys maybe that you took a look at center? You said you watched some guys and watched some tape. I'm curious, maybe there were a couple guys that stood out.
Yeah, Alex Mack for the Falcons, very talented guy. Travis Frederick recently retired, but another talented guy. I watch old Eric Wood. He retired a while ago, but old Eric Wood tape. These are all kind of guys who are more my size that are pretty athletic and obviously have been top tiers at their level. Brandon Linder's another one. And then even Garrett Bradbury in Minnesota does outside zone well. So I try to watch – honestly, I try to watch all of them because all these guys around the league, they all do something. They've all got their niche, and they're all very talented because they're starters at their position. So I'm just kind of trying to absorb and kind of take what I can from each one of those guys so I can better myself.
Thanks, Frank.
Yep.
So, Ken Brown.
Hey, Frank, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. You have at least one new guy next to you, and maybe two. I don't know, but one for sure. With no exhibition season, no games, how long would it take to develop that chemistry? And as a whole line without an exhibition season, what do you see happening with this line in their chemistry?
Yeah, it definitely takes time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. The blessing is now that we're in the building. Now that we're be able to be in the building and get to see each other and chop it up, because a lot of that chemistry doesn't even happen on the field. It's kind of just developing a nick with the guys and kind of developing that kind of that group, that best friend mentality. We're all going to go out there. We're going to work as one. That Coach Fraley likes to talk about that five becoming a fist, and you can't break the fist. And that's kind of one thing that, being here, it's been great to be able to get to know these guys and rotate all in, whoever it is. We're all very comfortable with each other. And I think those relationships that we build even off of the field, whether it's in the meeting room, in the walkthroughs, in the locker room, that's what's going to help us continue this chemistry.
Go Jen Hammond next.
Hello, Frank. It's nice to see you. Hey, I know that you guys always like to use the preseason, obviously, as a time just to kind of get your reps in. What kind of impetus does it put on being more honed in practice, or how does it change the approach in practice when you know that you don't have that preseason ability to kind of work on certain things? And how much do you I know that Coach was saying earlier today, you guys look at all the film and go through every aspect of practice beginning to end, not just the team portion.
Could you define impetus?
Oh, impetus. Just the importance of really working, making sure you get the most out of each practice as you go into the games without.
Yeah, I think one thing that we're definitely even trying to emphasize just on the offensive side of the ball and obviously as a team is the urgency. Everybody knows this is a different year, and everybody knows no preseason, shorter training camp, whatever it is, but there's not really an excuse. Every team's going through it, so the urgency has to be right there. There's not much room for error like you would have in OTAs or you would have even in early training camp because you got those 4 preseason games. So I think the urgency to try to make practice as competitive as possible and learn from that rep. And even if you do make a mistake, make that mistake once, but then we don't make that mistake again. And that's kind of the big emphasis, the urgency to learn from our mistakes and move on and not continue those mistakes, if that makes sense.
Thank you. Totally.
Yep.
Got time for 1 or 2 more, guys? Dave?
What's up, Frank? Good to see you. I was just curious about the offense in general. I mean, everyone seems to be very high on the potential of this group this year. From the skill players, the passing game, the running game, everything that you guys can be up front. I just wanted to get your impressions of what you've seen so far and just your expectations too, I guess, for what this group can be.
I mean, I know we got a bunch of good guys, a bunch of good dudes, just good dudes in general. And then there's just a bunch of guys that want to work hard, and I think that 1-2 is definitely there, and that urgency, like I talked about, is there. So, we're really taking it day by day. I know that sounds so typical, but really we're trying to take it day by day, and we're trying to kind of attack each practice at a time. And who knows? I mean, I'm excited for this group. I know it's a good group. I know it's a hardworking group, and I'm just excited to see how we are tomorrow, to be honest.
And the only change really on the offense is, I mean, Swift will play obviously, but is on the offensive line. So I don't know. Do you guys feel, is there any pressure on the 5 of you to make sure this offense hits its potential, reaches its potential?
I think the one thing offensive lineman, that trait we all have, is we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, because if you think about it, offensive line, you're not really talked about unless you make a mistake. And so I think that's one thing as a group we always are going to put that pressure on ourselves. And, I know that who knows who it's going to be, but all these guys I'm confident in. There's a lot of great dudes, whether it's these rookies or these older guys, a lot of great dudes who have the right mindset. So we'll definitely have that pressure on ourselves, but that's kind of always going to be from within.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Frank. We'll have Amani Oruwariye up next.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, good to see you.
So you had the benefit of working with a guy like Darius Slay last year and learning from a guy that's got some Pro Bowls under his belt. You bring in Desmond Trufant this year, similar resume. What's the benefit of working with two different guys, different skill sets, seeing different things that can, I guess, offer you tips, techniques, and bringing you along in your young career?
I mean, it's awesome because, you got two guys, both successful in their careers at the position, with totally different experiences against different teams, similar receivers, but they all have their unique kind of, stories. So just being able to pick both of their brains and just learn different things from, the technique, just the mindset, how they take notes, how they study film. Just to be able to piggyback off both of them, it's awesome. I mean, not a lot of guys really get that, and I'm making sure I try to take advantage of that.
Is there anything in particular you've learned from Dez so far in these first couple weeks together?
I mean, not that I don't already know to kind of go hard in practice, but just seeing him at the the level he's at and the year he's at, still, I mean, going every rep he takes it like it's it's a Super Bowl rep. I just I admire that, and I kind of try to take from that and make sure I'm coming to work every single day, just like he is.
Mike Rothstein.
Hey, Amani. Obviously, you spent some time on the COVID list. What was your experience like with COVID? And if you can just walk us through what you were dealing with and all that.
I mean, kind of rather just leave that where it's at. I don't like really talking about the past and stuff. I kind of just, I'm healthy and good here in the building right now, practicing and, with all the guys. So that's kind of what I'm focused on right now.
Where do you feel like you've maybe taken the biggest jump in your game?
Just understanding the defense, the concepts of the defense, the plays, knowing where my help is in man coverage, just knowing everything, not even just my position at corner, knowing the safeties, how they work, knowing how the linebackers help with, how I can play my coverage. And then just film study, just going through, learning how to actually study guys, how to, study offensive concepts, just everything like that. It's just always, I just always am trying to improve in that way. And then just testing myself in practice, testing my technique, testing things I worked on and things I want to try out, and just keep pushing myself to the limit.
Thanks.
So Dave next.
Hey, Monty, good to see you. Can you reflect just a little bit on last year and had a little bit of playing time, played well, maybe didn't get, the opportunity at the very end of the season, but just how has that helped you grow, I guess, as a player now?
I mean, it was quality experience. I got real live game reps that meant a lot and helped me grow as a player. And then it helped us grow. Just a lot of the younger guys that got out there just helped us all grow as players. And always, I still go back and look at that film just to see, compare that to like how practice is right now, and just to see like, what I've improved on, what I need to keep working on. It was great. And, I'm trying to use that to, just spring forward to this year and just keep growing and keep learning.
One thing Patricia mentioned about you is that maybe you're seeing the game, your vision has opened up a little bit more this year. I don't know if you've sensed that yourself, if you feel that yourself, but can you explain, why that is and what you see now that you didn't last year?
Yeah, I mean, coming as a rookie, it's just like, even it's like a freshman in college, it's all new. The speed of the game's faster. So you're kind of just worried about making sure you're in the right position and not messing up. And now all that's kind of, past me. That stuff's easy. So, coming into year 2, it's just a lot slower. Everything's slower. The game's slower. I can focus on other things that'll help me, grow as a corner rather than just like getting lined up and being in the right position. I'm worried about not getting yelled at. I'm past that, and I'm more so focused on just competing for, every day in practice and just, trying to get better.
You consider yourself a starter? I mean, you've been out there with the first team defense all camp. Do you consider yourself a starter?
Like I said, I'm just coming out there every day trying to put my best foot forward. Not worried about anything, nothing set in stone at all. We're in day 3 of camp. I'm really just focused on making sure, everyone around me is I'm playing well with everyone around me, making sure we're on our P's and Q's every day, coming out there competing.
Thank you.
Jennifer?
I know that the focus and the work and all of that stuff is always there during camp, but without preseason games, how much more important and how much more of an emphasis does it put on every single aspect of practice, from individual drills to the teamwork, and then also the film study and everything that goes along with it?
Yeah, I mean, like they put up in the meeting today, 25 days. We're that close, and it'll go by in the blink of an eye. So you just got to go. We just got to. Coaches always saying that we got to go right now. Today, we got to attack today. No time to be casual. I mean, usually you have, you got camp and, maybe even some jointed practices and, preseason games, but we don't have any of that. So we can't make excuses for it. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. We just got to go out there and just get better and be ready to go September 13th.
Go, Ben.
Hey, appreciate the time. You were a rookie last year. You got the 3rd overall pick, Okuda, in there this year. Wondering, any conversations with him, any rookie advice for him heading into 3 days of camp here?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a great job. He's a technician. You can just tell they prepared him well in college. And he asked a lot of questions, which is good. Coming in, corner's a hard position to come in and, really take over right away and thrive at your highest level. But that's why we go out there every day and just, learn and practice and just keep competing. And I told him, any questions you need, ask me. We'll look over some film together. He'll ask me just little things, anything. And, I'll make sure I'm there. I'm a resource for him.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go Chris Burke, last question.
Hey, I asked Coach Patricia kind of a similar question a couple of days ago, but you're only a couple of years out of college. You guys wouldn't have had a preseason at Penn State. You would have had kind of this quick run up to the regular season. I wonder if you can pull anything from, how you got ready for the college season and transition it to this year when you didn't have OTAs, when you didn't have mini camps. I mean, is it similar at all to what it would have been like, when you were playing back at Penn State?
I mean, yeah and no, because we still had spring football in Penn State. So it was, even though spring practices kind of were, it helped, develop, even though it wasn't as intense and stuff as OTAs and it didn't go all the way through the summer. It was still like extra work. So it's different. It's definitely a lot. Like, I don't think anybody's really prepared for it or had a feel of how this would be. So it's all new to all of us. And like I said, the coaches are putting us in a great position and telling us everything we need to do. And then we just got to go out there and make sure we attack every day and, get better every single day, and we'll be ready to go.
And then just sort of a quick follow-up in terms of, things slowing down and feeling more comfortable in the defense. Obviously, you weren't able to do any of that on the field over the last few months. So was there anything special, I guess, that you did to sort of make sure that you were mentally ready and had a good grasp for where you needed to be with the scheme and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I knew all the plays, and I still know all the plays, and just mentally put myself in a position where just to go out there and try to be consistent every single day. I knew I could do it. I know I can do it. I'm still trying to do it. I'm working every day to just put my best foot forward, like I said, and just come out there every single day and practice to my best ability. And going forward and even going into before camp, I just watching film, trusting my training, competing with, training with some of my old Penn State fellas and things like that, just getting that atmosphere, getting ready for camp. And it was good. And so I'm ready to keep going.
All right. Thanks, Amani. Thanks, everyone. We'll have Julian Okwara up next.
Thank you.
Tim, you want to start us off?
Let me unmute there. My bad. So you didn't have the spring, obviously, didn't have mini camps and OTAs, and you kind of just got right into it. I'm just curious how quickly you're acclimating to speed, power, just the change in skill level at this game, and it's kind of such a truncated time period.
Yeah, not having the spring, is definitely affecting the rookies in general. I think in the whole NFL really. Not in a bad way. I think everything just kind of moves fast, and you just got to get used to speed, find a veteran, and kind of hold on to him, see what he's doing, and find out where your coaches are at, and pretty much just move fast, think fast, being able to process information pretty fast is it's kind of new for me, really. Just everything kind of moving at high speeds. You definitely got to be on point every day. So just coming in and learning is kind of where I'm at right now. Obviously, the spring is definitely with the rookie mini camp and OTAs and all that stuff we missed out on, but I think we're doing a pretty good job in acclimating.
Justin?
Hey, Julian, appreciate the time. In addition to the shortened off season, you obviously are coming off a year that ended in injury. Just wondering how much you felt like you've had to shake off rust, if at all, from that heading into this year.
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good. I feel 100% healthy. I've been doing everything, so it's just a matter of getting back to football and learning fundamentals and getting back to what I do. So I'm just looking forward to that, taking everything day by day and learning from the vets. And trying to get in a routine and be professional how I do. So that's kind of my day-to-day process right now. Definitely want to stay healthy, and I'm just looking forward to keep working every day.
Are there any mental hurdles that go along with coming back from a serious injury like that beyond the obvious physical ones?
For me, I mean, earlier on, maybe when I first started being able to run, just getting back to it, but I've been good for a while, running and cutting all that stuff. So it's just a matter of getting back to football. I'm definitely still in my head a little bit, but I don't really think about it by the time I'm running around. I really don't even feel it at all. But yeah, I feel pretty good. Life feels good. Everything feels good. So I'm looking forward to the season. Looking forward to just getting better every day.
Appreciate it.
Good, Jennifer?
Hey, Julian, thanks for joining us. So when the veterans talk about mini camp and our training camp rather and practices, they talk about stacking days, stacking good days and good practices. When you're a rookie and you're in there and there's so much more to learn, what extent can you try to stack days like that?
Right. Yeah, Coach Patricia always talks about keeping your head down and just keeping your head down. Don't look up till whenever. But right now I'm just trying to keep my head down and follow after the vets and make sure they're and trying to do what they're doing, especially each rep, just watching how they do it and try to follow along. I'm just coming every day to practice, just working your tail off and do everything the right way. So I'm just trying to learn as much as I can right now. I'm doing everything the coach is asking me, whatever they need me to do, I'm doing. So I'm just looking forward to that, really. But definitely stacking your days is definitely important, especially in camp. You've always had to, and especially in college. Days are long. You're just going to have to keep going, work hard, find something new to work on every day, improve on. So that's just kind of where my mindset's at right now.
Also, how one of the other players was telling us that today Coach Patricia put on the board 25 days, like really the countdown is on, and there's a lot of work to do between now and then with no preseason games. As a rookie, how do you make sure that doesn't become too overwhelming?
Right now, like I said, I'm just taking things day by day, really. Just following the vets, and when that time comes, it'll come. But right now, I'm focused on today. We got meetings, so just making sure I'm focused on meetings and seeing what I need to improve on for tomorrow. Right now, so like stacking your days, you got to look down, keep your head down, and focus on right now, not looking forward ahead. So right now, I'm just focused on the moment, figuring out what I need to do to get better for tomorrow, and go watch the practice film and figure out what I need to do. So that's where I'm at right now.
Jeremy?
Thanks for the time, Julian. You've mentioned a couple times the value of a veteran for a young guy like you. Is there any specific player that you've kind of latched onto, and anything particular they've helped you with specifically?
Yeah, just JD, Austin Bryant, my brother, really. Just being able to go back home and just go look over the playbook with him, just asking questions, especially when you're in the building with all the older guys all day. And then when you go home, you're kind of by yourself. So being able to have my brother, which is right next door, so I'm just able to go in, pop in his room, ask him a question real quick, and go back to my place. So I would definitely say JD, Christian Jones. Honestly, everybody has been a great help, really. Everyone's always willing to help the rookies, which is probably something that doesn't happen around the league pretty often. So I think the willingness to teach and the willingness to learn from our rookies is pretty much the best thing we have right now.
John? John?
So much for the time. I appreciate it. You recently had a chance to visit Nigeria. I was just curious what your experience was like, what your takeaways were visiting a country like that.
I'm from there. I used to live there about 12, when I was younger for 8 years. So just being able to go back and see some family, hang out with my dad, and it was last summer, but I still remember it a little bit. That's my first time going in like 12 years. So to be able to see family and spend time with them, my grandma and just cousins I haven't seen in a while, was pretty nice.
Okay, we'll go Mike Rothstein, last question.
Yeah, hey, Julian. Back when we talked to you before the draft, you said you were going to live with Romeo, and you just kind of hinted at popping across the room. Are you actually living with him and getting free rent, or did you end up getting your own place? Like, what did you end up doing there?
Nah, I live right next door to him, so I guess we're kind of roommates. But if you think about it, we're right next door. I had to get my own place. I like my own space, so. But he's definitely close enough to be a great resource for me in terms of football and just keeping him at right mental headspace, especially for the long seasons. I think it's definitely important that we were right next to each other, or stay close to each other, really. So it's definitely going to help in the long run. So I'm looking forward to that and spending more time with him. This is probably the most time we spent together since high school or whenever he was back home. I don't even remember it. So it's just nice to be able to have family next to me, next door, really, and then just have him as a resource, especially on the same football team. Just doing things together, really spending time together.
And on maybe a much more serious note, a year ago you would have been at Notre Dame, kind of figuring out maybe whether you were having a season or not. Have you given that much thought what that would have been like if you were still in college, and how you might have handled that situation? Because I'm sure I know you're still probably tight with a lot of those guys there.
I haven't really given it much thought, but even with this, there are the opt-outs and stuff like that. So I'm ready to play football, especially having the sport that I love being taken away from me last year with an injury. I'm definitely looking forward to playing and get back on the field. I just enjoy going out there with the guys and practicing, because it was definitely something I took for granted. And just when you kind of blink of an eye, get injured like that, just being able to get back on the field, you cherish every moment. So that's what I'm doing right now. I just love being out there with the guys playing football and just ready to get better, really.
Thanks, man.
All right. Thanks, Julian. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, Julian.